It's going to be not busy from a micro standpoint, but a lot to watch still.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're losing groups. That's the issue. Housing has been very strong, but we have supply chain issues with housing. That's not going to continue. That group, I think, can start falling off. The semiconductors, we are now getting to the point, Micron reports this week, where people are saying the semiconductor companies have shortage themselves. Now, the most pertinent one that I saw today was in the Nikkei publication, Nikkei Asia, which talked about how key Apple suppliers have to cut back. Why? Because of energy issues in China. And I don't think people are really ready for a Chinese crackdown, David, on energy consumption.
It's happening. And by the way, there's an energy story globally that we kind of touched on here and there, but we're going to continue to have to, because it's not just China. It's obviously energy prices in Europe. Natural gas prices are soaring around the globe, certainly in Asia. They're very happy, those that have the actual fixed price contracts, to get our exported LNG at a fixed price, because it's going crazy in Asia. But your point on China, coal they're trying to actually take down because of emissions, and trying to actually get a bit better on that side of things. They have terrible air pollution, of course, and carbon overall. And they're starting to have some energy issues.
Incredible, because I think there's a lot of people who feel that, we're going to talk a lot about this, that China's invincible, that China's passed us. A lot of negatives about the United States. And yet when I listen and read about China, yes, they have a government that could bail out lots of different people. But I do find that the idea that China is all powerful does not jive with the idea that they have to cut energy for a Unimicron circuit board maker stops production. Yep. I mean, there's a Foxconn shut in Kunshan facility because of electric supply. This is not what we expect.
No, and it pertains to, in the UK, for example, the number of just drivers getting fuel to pumps. You got 90% of some of the pumps there dry in the major cities. But nat gas isn't like oil, where it immediately reflects itself in your gas pump.
No.
They're building supplies now. And by the way, Goldman takes their Brent forecast to 90 by year end today.
Look, we're just not producing the way we used to. I mean, you look at Devon, which has been the hottest stock. And what is Devon doing? Devon is saying, okay, listen, we're not going to overspend anymore. It's run by a real guy, Rick Muncrief. Same thing. Look, when Diamondback Energy signaled that they're going to return money to shareholders, Diamondback, I don't want to call them reckless. I'm going to call them aggressive. But that was the signal. Look, we're just not producing like we're going to produce. If that's the case, we are going to cut back in production, maybe get on to 9 million barrels. And no one is stepping up. Aramco is paying a $75 billion dividend. They're not stepping up. So we do have the possibility of just all over the place not having enough energy. This Britain shutdown, and we're claiming it's like trucks, but...
Well, also, the wind stopped blowing in the North Sea. I know it sounds kind of bizarre to say that, but
it's always sunny in Germany.
It's true. And so wind production there has, or power production from wind has declined. And there's the Goldman note. And by the way, Jim, I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You're making the point again. I think it's an important one, that these companies that have typically increased and ramped up production, shale production in the Permian, are not doing it. Instead, they're returning capital to shareholders.
And their stocks are going up, which is, they care about that.
Right. And so Goldman, part of their note is, listen, it's not just about OPEC not ramping up or not ramping up enough, but the shale supply response, they say, just starting.
Also, the idea that economic activity has survived the variant in ways that Goldman did not forecast.
No, I mean, I think that I have Union Pacific on it. Obviously, there's a lot of finger pointing about West Coast port. But what's clear is that people are shopping like mad in this country. No one thought that would happen. I mean, when Costco limits toilet paper again, I mean, it's people at Costco, they're going nuts shopping. So, and then we have an infrastructure bill coming, and wouldn't it be interesting that since we have so many jobs that are unfilled, everywhere you go, help wanted. I was in Quakertown, Pennsylvania this weekend. If you just walk in to Quakertown, you can get $22. I see it. I mean, manufacturers come in, get $22 an hour. I was going to walk in just for a couple. $22 an hour for the weekend.
Take a shift?
Yeah, versus my wife had me pulling weeds from a pond this weekend.
What'd you get paid for that?
Nothing, but I offered my stepson a ton of money because it was killing my back.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC. on YouTube.